Welcome back. Let's continue, shall we? We shall. I think it's it's debating. Debatable what we're gonna do. I'm feeling like we're gonna finish off the Eden rate. Yes, we shall gear up. I would say. Ba, 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 ba. Good news, or at least it has been potential to be good news. I've reached word from Master Uranje. Unfortunately, the message was rather thin on details. He only requested that you return to the Crusadeum and meet him at the Wandering Stairs, not the most likely of places for important meetings, but I suppose you might be able to squeeze in a pint or two while you're there. Oh shit. The fuck? Okay. Did I miss something? Probably, I don't know. Hooray! Accept mine apologies for calling thee Hilther at such short notice. The matter I wish to discuss is of considerable import. If it's that urgent, wouldn't it be quicker to use those link pros things Rin's been telling me about? These are words best delivered in person. Did something happen to the empty? Not the that doth warrant our immediate attention. The elements are in a state of equilibrium, and the propagation of flora continues apace. So what's this about then? As thou art aware, we are not of this world, hailing from what is referred to as the source. However, unlike Akira, Thancred and I exist only as ethereal given corporal form. Our bodies remaineth on the source, though the thread that binds us to them doth grow linger with the passage of time. And if you stay here too long, you might never be able to return. Precisely now, with the wheels of change in the empty set in motion, we believe this is fitting juncture to take our leave. We shall but regret not being present to see the transformation which reach its completion. That hardly seems worth losing your bodies over, though. If you have to go back to your own world, who are we to stop you? I always knew this day would come. I just. You still have Gaia and Akira. I know that you'll see this through to the end, together. We will. I may not be half the woman Minfilia was, but I have friends I can turn to. They might be brutally honest in their opinions at times, or prefer to save their words and let their actions do the talking, but I wouldn't have it any other way. We won't let you down. Just promise you won't transform into a crazy ice lady and try to kill me again. Though I can't say what the future might bring, no doubt Rin and Gaia will need your support in the days to come. Alas, the mysteries surrounding the fairy are yet to be solved. Whether thou shouldst find the answers that thou seekest or nay, lend not thine ears to its honeyed words, for thy will is thine own. Never forget this. I won't. The time of our departure is at hand. Yet know that no matter where we may be, ever shall we pray for your success. With Uraji and Tancred set to leave the first, it seems wise to share this development with Yalfurt, who will continue to oversee expeditions into the empty. Oh, that storms. You're back sooner than expected. Is everything all right? Oh dear, that's rather unfortunate. I dare say it's something jolly important, but for them to leave in such a hurry. In any case, I wish them the best of luck wherever their work may take them. I shall remain here and hold the fort, as it were, and make the necessary provisions should any further forays into the empty be required. Safe travels, Mr. Akira. Akira, so the rumors of your knack of being in the right place in the right time are true. You see, just completed our we've just completed our preparations for another expedition to the empty. Miss Rin and Miss Gaia agree that it's high time you all went to see how things are coming along. Though I must say, being at their beck and call night and day does test my patience on occasion. Well, fancy seeing you here. Akira. We were just getting ready for another trip on the Sky Slipper. Care to join us? There was one other thing I should mention before you depart. Now the situation in Elmore has settled down somewhat. My associates have made some headway in investigating your past, Miss Gaia. Is that so? I thought that's what you wanted. So I did, but I quite like the way things are now. Digging around in my past might, I don't know, spoil it somehow. Besides, uncovering the truth behind the voice in my head and my strange powers is bound to be more interesting than whatever life it was I had in Elmore. I understand we'll find the answers together, just like we do everything else. Did you make that necklace? Do you mean from the ice crystal we found after the battle? I was sure it would have melted by now, but it seems Rin was right. And yes, we had it made into a necklace. She insisted that I have it, even though it doesn't suit me at all. Still, I suppose it makes a nice memento, so I kept it somewhere safe. Oh, come on, Gaia. It's likely, it'd look lovely on you. Wait, you're not embarrassed to wear it, are you? Don't be silly. Of course I'm not. In any case, I wouldn't want to lose it while we're in the empty. Unlike the coffee biscuits you've brought along, I can't just go and buy another. Ah, they were supposed to be a surprise for Akira. And if, in case you were wondering, I haven't been neglecting my training. I wouldn't want my skills to get rusty. Just because Tancred's not around, I'm ready for whatever lies ahead. Ranger would also be pleased to hear you've had your head in those fusty old tomes. I've even done a bit of studying myself. After all, it's up to us to take care of the empty now. Lesbian energy. I'm looking forward to seeing how things have changed since our last visit. Come on. Let's head over to the derrick. Oh wait, no, alright. Screw you. I'm too lazy to do it. Da da da. Bum bum. Ba da da. This time, those giant ant things had the good sense to leave us alone on our way here. Seems they've learned their lesson. I don't suppose you fancy taking the helm this time. Wait, I'll paddle this time. Oh, I didn't realize you knew how. While you were off training, I was practicing with another sky slipper they have in the cruisarium. Really, that's fantastic. Harley, you've been pulling more than your own weight, and I just wanted to do what I can do to contribute more. So, you two can sit back, relax, and leave it to me. There's no need to look so apprehensive. You know, let's get going, shall we? Right. Well, Gaia certainly kept that quiet. She's just full of surprises, isn't she? Great. Did I screw up? Apprehensive. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 Skill speed. Look at her. It's so strange. Suddenly seeing you at the controls. Why didn't you tell me you'd been practicing? I thought I'd surprise you. That's all. Well, consider me surprised all this time. I thought you were only good for smashing things with your hammer. Bring that up again and you can walk the rest of the way. I'd best behave. I wouldn't want to get stranded in the empty and miss the festival. I suppose this is the first time you've heard of it. We haven't exactly been keeping it a secret, but it's still in the planning stages. You see, the return of the night sky has brought lots of changes, and while everyone is glad, the reality is it's also been quite stressful, having to adapt to a new way of life. Seeing how hard our elders are working to keep the Crusadeum running, youths like myself came up with the idea of hosting an event as a way of expressing our appreciation. Once we return to the empty, I'll be helping as one of the organizers. I'll be happy to help, provided I'm so comprehensive. I'd offer to help, but I think you have everything well in hand. I wouldn't be so sure about that, but I'd try my best to make it a success. If everything goes well, all you'd need to do is turn up and enjoy yourself. How about you, Gaia? Would you like to help with the festival? What's that? Haven't been listening. My, leg is cramping up a bit. Piloting this thing must have made me more tense than I'd realized. Then let one of us take over it. No, I'll be fine. Well, as long as you're sure, but if you feel like switching places, just say the word. No, how can this be? I think that explains it. Light, does this mean there's still too much of it in the empty? I'm no expert, but this might be a result of losing control when you restored the ice element. Even though I tried to use darkness to hold back the light spilling forth, it seems it wasn't enough. Then we're right back to where we started. This is all my fault. No, Ren, you mustn't blame yourself. Ugh. You have returned to me. Restore the darkness while you still can. A familiar voice, an inescapable fate, the promise of salvation at the principle of ruin. In the remnants of a lost past, I would find my truth. It's been so long since Gaia had one of her headaches that I thought the fairy might have disappeared for good. Do you think it's got something to do with Eden? Restore darkness. What did you say, Gaia? Restore darkness to the world flooded by light. That's it. We thought we'd restore balance to the six elements, but perhaps they're still too strong aligned with light. If that's the case, maybe we can set things right by using darkness. By using darkness? Are you serious? But hold on. It might actually work. Gaia, that's a brilliant idea. I wouldn't go that far. I just remembered what I learned during our adventures. That's all. But this does mean we'll need to go. We need to call on your services again. If that's all right with you. We've come this far together, and we'll see our mission to the end, to Eden's core. Right? One moment. I know this is gonna be stupid. What? Okay. They're back. Alright, cool. Did I actually talk to Ren? It's been long since. Okay, I did talk to her. Yep. Alright, let's return to Eden's core. I'll say one thing before we start. If this all goes horribly wrong, don't even think about pinning it on me. Not at that it will, of course. Right, let's get started. But were there any promos aligned with darkness? I can't seem to recall any. You mean there isn't one? And the Asian's god, Zodiac, may be suitable, but we need something that Akira has actually encountered, and preferably defeated. Well, does it have to be a primal for it to work? If it's not just a lot of darkness that we need, perhaps there are other ways to get it. You may be right. What we ultimately need is a state of highly charged darkness. It shouldn't matter what form it takes. Does anything come to mind, Akira? I dare say the flood of dark sense had a fair bit of darkness. Darkness had a fair bit of darkness. I know a few void scent that would fit the bill. The creatures I unleashed while under the fairy's control, if we were able to summon one powerful enough, it just might work. The Kettle of Darkness, I can't begin to imagine how powerful it must have been. I'd say we found the perfect candidate. But to find a suitable place, one where darkness is strong, it won't be easy in a world flooded by light. Well, we've got the Warrior of Darkness and the Oracle of Darkness, right? Here, it seems like a good enough spot to me. But what about the light-aligned ether that's all around us? That's where you come in. You can suppress the light while I draw out the darkness. By combining our powers, we can make it work. Wherever we are. Combining our powers. Yes, between us, there's nothing we can't achieve. Don't be afraid, Agaya. I'm not afraid, just very concerned that this will all go horribly wrong. Which is the same thing, I suppose. Anyway, it's certainly not easy coming up with these plans by ourselves. That's true, but when this is over, we can reward ourselves with all sorts of delicious treats at the festival. Festival, what do you mean? We spoke about it on the way here. Remember, I asked if you wanted to take part. I was busy piloting the Sky Slipper, so I probably wasn't paying attention. Oh well, don't not to worry. We can talk about that later. Right now, we got a job to do. I'll draw out that ambient ether. And I'll shift the alignment to darkness. Darkness. Now, Akira, focus your thoughts. Memories of the cloud of darkness enshrouded your mind. Eden's promise, Umbra, now accessible. It's called Fourth Real Voidsent before, so everyone tells me anyway, but this is unknown territory for me. With the two of you on my side, though, I'm sure it'll work. This is the first time we've tried this since the disaster with Shiva. So I'd be lying if I say I wasn't nervous. Even so, I cannot afford to waver now. Alright, in the next episode, we shall do the Umbro in Promise Umbro. Until then, fare thee well.